Hello, hello. You hear me? You hear me? Testing, testing. Can you hear me now? Is there audio? Hello? You guys respond? It says there's audio going through right now. Yeah, thanks for the follow. Gridugia. Is there audio? Gridugia, anyone? Yo, Juan. Oh, there is? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Alright, alright, alright. Yeah, I'm gonna go through these notes. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a while since I streamed, so thought I should get one in tonight before before I go away for Christmas and all that shit. Alright, let me go to Inferno. Me. Fuck, dude, I feel like there's been so much, so many things I've improved on since the last stream. I don't even know where to start. Delay? There should be no delay. It might just be a YouTube problem. You want to go to the Twitch instead? But yeah, there should be no delay. Let me check. Yeah, there is no delay. So, I think YouTube just tweaking. Sometimes it just be tweaking like that. Instead of Twitch. All right. Fuck, dude. I don't even know what. Yeah, I'll just go through these notebooks and I'll see if I pick up on anything that I think is like really interesting to talk about. But if you guys have questions too, on anything, any map, IGLing, mental stuff, anything, I will do my best to answer while I go through these notes. So I'm gonna look through these notes, look for a topic to talk about, because I swear to God, I've improved so much on just fucking everything in like the past month. It's just literally like an upward spiral. It's an upward spiral, just things just improving. Aim, IGLing, leadership skills, emotional intelligence, anxiety, all that. Dude, I swear, dude, it's like it's going so good, man. Literally going so good. Watching all your vids. Hey, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, ask away. And then until then, I'm gonna keep on looking through this notebook for stuff to talk about. I'm gonna talk about little tips and tricks, shit that I see too, in game that I've written down. I'm gonna be honest, my content's probably gonna start shifting instead of like I used to make a lot of like Nart type tips and tricks where it's like, oh, I found this cool HE, I found this cool smoke, like stuff like that. But I've been really teetering away from just watching demos to learn new things. I've been more of watching my own demos or watching demos with a specific reason for like a study. So like I'm watching a demo of like Arch Control study. Of just like let's see what teams do with Arch Control. Let's see how they use it. What are the options with Arch Control? Shit like that. Where I'm trying to get like a little bit more in depth instead of just trying to do like wider field of knowledge. It's just like new nades, new nades, new nades, new strat, new technique, new default, all this stuff. I've been trying to get really into like the depth of this of a lot of things like calling options. It's a lot of depth and little specific stuff. A lot of individual play things too that aren't just like simple tips and tricks. So if I do end up talking about stuff in my notebook, it's probably gonna be things along those lines, team-based things, system-based things versus here's a new smoke I found, you know. So just let you guys know, my content's probably gonna start shifting in that direction, which I think people don't even talk about to begin with because it's pretty easy to watch demos and just be like, oh, that's a cool nade. And then, you know, you post a video about that, which is like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think a lot of people talk about like what it takes to build like an actual system, you know, like, oh, when this player is in this position and there's someone here, then he's responsible for this, and this, you know. I'm playing for OT side more in depth because I can't find something that explains what to do and why. All right, so you had a similar problem as we were having. Our issue came from me, like I've talked about this so many times, but just doing too much, just having too many options, too many defaults. So when we picked up Enfo back up, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Paula stepped down from the team. He didn't get kicked or nothing. I'm not a big believer in kicking people, but he stepped down because of his job. He said he wanted to get some more sleep. So Enfo joined back in the team. So I'm like, all right, this is a good time to do like a fresh, clean slate, like a reset. Let's nail our defaults, get these goals down, protocols down, because that was a problem we were having. So Inferno, okay. I'm gonna just straight up tell you how we've been playing Inferno, okay? I'm gonna just straight up tell you, all right? Because this works at like the main level. CTs at like main to advanced, probably even ECL too. Just anyone in this rank, like everyone's so cocky, right? So everyone like let's abuse that, right? Everyone's so cocky and they're like peaks. So the way to abuse aggressive solo CTs is just to pack up, right? If you're always packed up in a group and a CT aggresses into that group, he might get a kill, but you're gonna trade out on him, and because the pack is already there, you can explode onto the site because you just got the pick. If you were split default, where like you have 2 people car, 2 people apps, and this guy gets a pick, you get the trade, but there's only 1 guy car. You can't take advantage of getting the trade, and you can't explode on the site. You still have the mid round, the rest of the round. You have the mid round, make calls, throw fake, whatever the fuck, right? You still have to like continue with like the whole strats and shit. But if you're like always in a pack and they aggress into you, like I said, you could explode on the site. So how we've been kind of running this on most maps is just staying packed up until the CTs respect you, and then we go into a split default, or then we go into faster map control, etc. Like, usually want to enforce that respect before assuming it is there, if that makes sense. Because when you go into like defaults and you have like 1 guy car, 1 guy going up mid, 1 guy apps, like you should only be doing that if you know that the CTs are passive. Like, because the whole point of that is to take map control faster. You don't want to take map control slow against passive CT teams. They're just running down the clock on you and saving their util on the site. So that's when you want to like split up and take map control faster and cheaper, solo or duo, whatever it is. Just take the map control faster. But yeah, how we've been kind of running it is just staying packed up until the CTs respect us, and then we can go into split defaults, or we can switch it up how it goes. So like we usually start rounds packed up towards B, right? 4-1 towards B. You got like a guy going logs, guy going cubby, this guy holds smoke. Second step would be like, another thing we'd also do starting off our T sides is starting off with heavy util, just to establish that respect as well. Start off with heavy util so they respect car control, and then we end up cashing in on that because now we can expect that they're not going to play for car control 3-4 rounds down the line. We can actually contact car because they're probably not going to play for it because we just took car heavy as fuck the past 3 rounds. Conditioning, right? So that's part of it too with the pack defaults, like playing fundy or playing light util, playing packed or playing split. That's like a general way to approach maps. Stay packed up, stay fundy until they respect you, then start changing the pace. You can actually skip this though if you do anti-strat work and you research the enemy team that you're playing against, and you can just see right off the bat their tendencies. And you'd be like, okay, maybe we don't have to start fundy. We can actually start passive, or we can start split against these guys because yada yada yada. Like that's when you can start making exceptions. But you shouldn't just like randomly guess how you're gonna play against a team. You should have like a good standard way of playing against a team that you don't know of, because you don't know them. Like you can't assume that they're gonna respect you. All tips, man, help me team get to main. Oh shit, good shit, man. Stuck at level 7 to 8 face it. Any tips to break through the hard stuck? Just improve on literally everything and queue with teammates. That's alright. Shut the fuck up, Sean. My god. I'm surprised you're still alive after Sunday. Oh my god, man. I was just showing my mom the videos of you. Alright, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but the packs though. So generally you can stay packed up 4 towards B. That's never a bad answer. Until the CTs start doing like heavy util, like double molly, double HE. Then you're just gonna like, you have 2 people out in banana and they're just taking so much util damage. It's like low-key just not even worth it anymore. So kind of like what we would do is like if they're playing heavy util, then we just play to give up banana. And this is when we go for the late takes game. We'll play the late takes game on Inferno T side, where we just let them dump their util, right? Let them dump their util. We'll just 4-1 towards A, take brackets first, and come back and take banana later. So like, you can start 4-1 towards B. Once they start getting really fundy with their util, trying to fight you banana, just don't even fight it. Let them dump their util. They're gonna be low util phase 3. So 4-1 towards A, start packing up towards A. And then when you're playing 4-1 towards A, like your if-thens, like your conditioning and your cashing out, like what you're trying to condition to like eventually cash out on, is usually arch control. Like this is the big thing right here, is arch control. And then also late taking bananas. Like these are like the things you're trying to play around. So when you're 4-1 towards A, yes, brackets is a part of, the default. This is like a phase 1 goal. Like this is like a first step goal, is brackets control. Your next goal is either arch or banana or both, or second and third. And what you want to do is like establish arch control respect by taking this like really fundamentally with like a pack. And the way you can abuse this is to take arch control, fake arch control into a wagon exec. Because when you keep on taking arch control and you throw the shock smoke, right? You throw the smoke, clear out cubby, all that stuff. The CT whose moto is forced to respect this, because let's say you took it and you wrapped B 1 round. He's forced to respect this. He's going to rotate, try and cover the flank, and then boom, you just like come up through wagon or pop apps, and you take like the 5-on-2 because you just pull the rotate off a site. Another way you can abuse this too is if you keep on taking arch control, you could throw a site execute, right? You throw a site exec, and then you pull the arch player into site, and then you actually wrap B. Like this is a good way to combat CTs that rotate a player off banana. Like, you know how people take banana, CT side? They'll take banana, right? And they'll leave one guy just to jump spot and they'll rotate one off. And they end up playing 4A. Two ways to abuse this. One way is to throw a sight, an A sight execute, right? You throw the sight execute. There's usually two people sight, two people arches. You pull the third player into sight to help defend the execute. Then you actually wrap arches instead. You take the 4-on-1 on the guy arches, and then you go through CT. And now you have like, now you have one guy banana, four guys arches, kill the guy here, and then you just wrap with the 4-1 against 1 split. Like this is a good way to abuse teams that leave one guy to jump spot, right? You pull the rotate to sight, take the 4-on-1 here, and then go to CT, wrap them. Another way to abuse this too is to just bum rush banana, right? After they take banana control, you can just group up down here, flash in, and just straight up rush to sight. Chances are you'll beat the CT's timings unless they're like playing fast rotate right here. But you can beat the timings and just take like the 4 or 5-on-1 on this guy here as he falls back to sight. He'll probably end up playing for a retake. But yeah, those are good ways to abuse teams that like leave people here. And then if they don't leave people here, this is like when you end up wanting to like just take A, right? If they keep 2 people here banana after they take banana control, then you just end up wanting to hit A just early. Just throw some type of arch take into A hit, or just throw some type of A hit and just take it. Like A is kind of weak, if that makes sense. So like usually you want to start packed up towards B. If they start doing heavy util, just give up B. If they're playing crazy amount of util, 3 mollies for whatever reason, just start packing up towards A. Because another reason too, if you're always grouped up towards A, like you got like in a 4-pack, like 4-1, you got one guy banana, he can listen for util. If he hears 3-man util on B, right, because they're playing util heavy, you can just know to explode onto A side because there's only 2 people here. So that's another reason why you just want to end up giving banana control and start packing up towards A, is because they're playing heavy util banana. And then thoughts on CTs making aggro plays at 3 mid. That's a good thing to do. It's a good pace change. It's good if you know that the T's are split default. Just like how I said, like you want to pack up if you know CTs are aggressive. If you're a CT, you want to get aggressive if the T's aren't packing up. That's a good way to abuse that, like heavy aggression. But yeah, you pack up towards A generally if they're playing util heavy towards B, and then if they're playing passive towards B and towards A, then you can go into your split defaults. You know, start taking back control faster. 2-2, 2-1-2, whatever you want. But yeah, that's kind of like, I don't want to go into too much detail of our actual protocols and stuff for what we have for like specific reasons, but I think those are pretty general answers that a lot of people already understand at a high level that I could talk about confidently on a YouTube video without having to worry about getting anti-stratted or something. But yeah, that's like if that makes sense about how to play Inferno, you can apply this map strategy or this idea of approaching T side to like a lot of maps. Some maps are different. Obviously, they have different metas, but Inferno is a really good map for this. This concept of pack versus split, aggression, passiveness. That makes sense for CT side. But yeah, does that make sense? Did I go into enough detail? Hopefully I did. But yeah, your biggest thing is when you're packed towards A is arch control and late taking banana, right? Because another thing you do too is to late take banana, and then you force the CT to rotate, and then you like, I don't know, split A because now there's like only 3A, or maybe you pull 2 rotates and now there's only 2A because you retake banana and throw a B fake. That's another thing you could do too mid round, like to off of like the 4-1A default. Generally speaking, you want to have defaults, right? Because this is something I had a problem with, is just having too many ways of taking map control, too many options. You want to have like 2 or 3 in-depth defaults that have like good map strategies for like a lot of the common things, right? A lot of the common things you'll see. So like our 2 or 3 defaults on Inferno is 4-1 towards B, 4-1 towards A, split default. And then split default's pretty open-ended, but 4-1 towards B and 4-1 towards A are like our main 2. And we have like pretty in-depth protocols for both of those. And pretty flexible as well. You can also like, you can get into like different map control takes as well within the numbers, but that's kind of how we have the team set up. Everyone can do it differently, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I'm maybe not making much sense. I don't know. Because there's a lot of things I'm saying that like I just know because I'm on the team that maybe I need to explain beforehand to make everything understand well. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. I think I did a good job. Okay, let me go through this. Makes a lot of sense. I was expecting individual stuff, but sometimes I forget to think as a team. It gives you a fresh look. Okay. Oh, as an individual? Yeah, see, then you'd have to get into like how you're playing as a team. What's the default? Then yeah, that's individual is a lot more relative playing individually. Playing as a team is a bit more static, but it can change as well. What's good? Voina? What's going on? Okay, so a lot of these notes here are actually notes for myself from watching games of my own demos back, because that's what I've been doing more too, is just fixing mistakes instead of learning more. It's making me play way better, dude. I think playing on a team this much has me forget about individual plays. Oh, really? I mean, it's not the best thing, but it can be healthy to you know, be a bit more team focused. But at a certain level, you know, you kind of want to get back to that individual play with plus the team environment, because there is times for that, the individual play, to like step up and, you know, do some nutty shit. I was gonna say too, so like I said, I kind of want to get more in depth about tactics and stuff like that, because that's what I've been really researching and studying lately. Half wall smoke. Your CT side, right? You see the half wall smoke. What do? Right? T smoke half wall. What do you do? An answer we came up with on the team, which I've seen in pro play as well. There's actually like two answers you could do here. One, you could just continue with your banana take through the half wall smoke. You still smoke deep, still molly out logs, molly out cubby if you have another person here, flash through, and then you just get the guy jumping through the half wall smoke. That's one of the options. Another option you could do too, because I notice, this is just some tendencies I see at this level. Obviously, I don't think this is going to hold true once we make advanced or ECL. People are going to hide this a lot better. But a lot of times when T's just randomly just pace change from mollying car to a half wall smoke, it's usually because they're trying just to like finish A early. So they'll throw the half wall smoke and just like go for an apps pop or something. Like every team does this shit, dude. I swear to God, every team does it. I do it too. Like, I do it too. But yeah, teams will just randomly smoke half wall, and it's usually because they just don't want you to like push down banana and see that no one's here. So like a protocol we did that seemed to help a lot with the half wall smoke is just to, right when you see the half wall smoke, the other B player just drop his smoke and just instantly rotate. And then this guy just stays op corner, and then he re-smokes just in case they weren't actually trying to hit apps. And now he still has a smoke to like fall back and jiggle smoke CT, and you already have like an early rotate towards A. And then you end up just basically playing for retake B if anything happens. Or if possible, this guy can just actually shut down the take. But that's something we've done, and it worked like every fucking time in Maine of last season. Like, it worked so well. Like, people would just smoke half wall. I'm like, okay, I'm rotating. I just drop my smoke and leave Paula here to like just wait out their smoke. And then he'd use it against them, because now they're waiting out. If they were to sit behind it, now they're waiting out their own smoke. He just re-smokes. And now they have to wait even longer. And then because they're waiting out this smoke, we have 4 people towards A, right? We have 4 people towards A. If they were to apps pop, we take apps, no problem. Apps pop doesn't come in. They're still waiting behind their smoke. Now we have some mid aggression that we can do with 2 people. Someone flashes me in. We clear out mid. We're like, okay, no one's mid. Let me rotate back towards B. By the time we get back towards B, the smoke's like fading, and we're pretty much already stacked. Like, because we got the information, you know. So that's a good thing you could do if you see the pace change of the half wall smoke. I would only do that though. I'd really only commit to this if it's a sudden pace change, right? If they've been mollying car, they've been taking car fast, they suddenly smoke half wall just randomly once in a round. It's probably because they want to hit A early. Then you'd want to do this. If they keep smoking half wall though, then you know it's gonna change up how you respond CT side, because there are several options to this half wall smoke and how to use it, right? If you're a T, you can abuse this, right? You smoke half wall, apps pop, right? Smoke half wall. Next round, you guys come up and you phase the half wall smoke, right? You wait till it clears. Right, you go in here, double phase it. Oh, okay, car clear. That's another option you can do. Or you can smoke half wall and then you pop someone through. And you know, if you were to smoke half wall as a T and pop someone through, that would abuse our protocol of, you know, rotating one person to A, because you just take the 4-on-1 on this guy and boom, you have sight. So like against a good team, they'll know how to actually mask this half wall smoke and to not make it so obvious what they're going for with it. But at a lower level, I think just dropping your smoke and rotating off, letting this guy re-smoke is a pretty good protocol to have. Probably all the way up until advanced. What are notes as an open IM player previously helped you climb back then that you could share now? I don't even know. It's already at an unconscious level. I saw a smoke today where the CTs can smoke off the Zyway angle and banana in front of logs. That could make it wild. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, that's a whole different banana take. Does being in main imply that you are level 10 and face it reserve? No, face it and main have nothing to do with each other. But I am level 10. Yeah, that's something I realized about the half wall smoke. I'm just giving y'all some free game that I realized is an IGL. I was gonna say something else too. Oh, so I actually want to comment what you said. You said, what are some previous notes that helped me as open or IM player? This is something I've been thinking about for a while. Yeah, what's good, Pogstar? This is something I've been thinking about for a while. It's just like how people improve, right? Everyone, I heard Kobe say this. Everyone has their own puzzles to figure out, and you just need to realize what stage of the puzzle you are. Not everyone has the same puzzle. So me in open, me in IM, probably didn't have the same problems as that you have in open or in IM, right? There's some people that in open IM with a lot of aim, a lot of individual skill, they suck as a teammate. Me in open, I was a great teammate, util knowledge, I sucked individually, whatever, right? It's an example. So you can't just like look at someone who's like level 10 or the same rank as you and be like, oh, if I just, or someone who's a high rank, then if I just ask them like what they did when they're in my rank, what helped, what they did at their rank probably wouldn't help you. Like everyone has their own puzzles, and someone could be, solving an issue at the pro level that you have figured out at the IM level. Like someone at the pro level could be figuring out how to communicate as a teammate, like how to communicate like healthily arguments that someone already has down at IM level. So you just like realize that like everyone has their own puzzles, dude, and you can't like judge people for what stage of the puzzle they're on because they might have completed a bunch of stages before. And this just came up because it's like I'll see. I used to get really mad at myself. I'm like, man, like I'm really training my aim now. Like I should have had this a while ago, right? I should have had my aim down forever ago, right? Maybe I'd be at the pro level at then, like, because there's other people at my rank that don't need to train their aim, but I don't realize all the other puzzles I solved that they didn't. You know, IGLing, util, whatever the fuck it is, tactics, strategy, strat book. Like, there's a lot of things that I improved on that now I just got to level of like, oh, I should focus on aim. They have improved on whatever, and now they're at the level of focus on strategy. So you can't just like look at where someone else is at and get mad at yourself because you didn't do that already. You just have a different puzzle. Like the path to pro, right? Let's say the path to pro is like there's like 10 stages of the puzzle. One is like aim, one is like strats, one is like, emotional intelligence, leadership skills. You can get like the first three down and then, work on your aim as the fourth stage, or you can get your aim done as the first stage and then you get the other three after. It's like everyone has their own puzzles. You improve at different rates at different things at different times. So just compare yourself to yourself and just keep on improving. You can't compare yourself to other people because like that's what I would do. I look at other people in main, or I'm like, man, bro, they have such good aim, and like I'm just playing so shit against them. And it's like I should have had my aim down already. I'm never gonna go pro. It's like no, that just means to work on it right now, and that's what I have been. I'm low key like pretty fucking nuts now, dude. Shut the fuck up, Sean. I say you cleared mid and you B player still has his smoke and hasn't count any B pressure. What's the read? What's the play? Rotate to B, because they're probably like waiting out the half wall smoke or something. If you clear out mid or care apps pop, I'd probably clear this, rotate to B, guy pit, resmokes apps, something along those lines. Or B player smokes and we clear out apps. I have a general question. I need like 1 hour to warm up in DM to be able to aim at. Think is decent. I think that's way too long, bro. You don't need an hour. You need like 10-15 minutes. Get your hand physically warmed, move your hand around, full range of motion, and then just go through some aimbots, just general movement, and then just start playing. Yeah, you seriously don't need an hour. It might be a mental thing instead of an actual physical one, because physically you do 100% do not need an hour to warm up. I wonder if it's like maybe you trying to get in the zone or something. I don't know. Do you regret not working on certain aspects of the game earlier as opposed to now? If so, well, that's kind of what I was talking about. Like, I used to regret that, but now I just realized that I was still improving regardless. I was just improving in other areas. So whatever aspects I regret that I should have learned earlier, let's say aim, just learn now. Just learn it now. Like there's nothing stopping me. I smoke CT. Go like this. It's like this. So you want to line up like this is like a pixel. This is like a pixel ass perfect lineup. Okay. So you come to the flower right here, right? You come to the flower, and you want to aim right here at the end of the brick. Okay. You want to run over here. You're gonna get to this. You're gonna like get to this certain spot on the map. It's gonna be like a pixel ass perfect lineup. So just don't move your mouse at all. And you come here, crouch, find that brick right there, and then you right click a smoke. That's how you smoke CT. Does that count as a how to figure out what you need to improve on? What do you think you suck at? You know how you figure out what you need to improve on? You think you realize you just actually have an honest conversation. What do you think you're good at? What do you think you suck at? That's one way to do it. And if you don't know what you suck at, it's probably because you don't know what is good, because you don't know if you suck at something if you don't know what being good at something is like. So watch pro players and then compare yourself to them and be like, oh wow, they use util way more than I do. Maybe I suck at util, or wow, they're hitting shots way more than I do. Maybe I suck at aim. You need a comparison to like actually see what you kind of suck at. But you don't want to use that comparison in order to like feel good about yourself. You want to use it to be honest with yourself and see like, oh, these pro players are good at this. Maybe I should work on that. No, it just feels like my movement and aim get way crisper the more I warm up. But the next day I wake up, it's reset. Well, yeah, everyone's aim resets when they wake up the next day. You just have to warm it back up to where it was. And that should only take like 10-15 minutes. That's why I'm saying I'm curious if it's a focus issue, if it's taking you an hour to get into the zone where you feel like your aim is good. Maybe it's because, I don't know, just throwing something out there, you're too stimulated throughout the day, and so when you end up sitting down and you sit in DM for an hour, you're not doing anything else that's overstimulating, so your brain like gets back to like a normal peaceful state, and now you're able to aim well. That's maybe why you feel like you need an hour to aim well. I don't know. I'm just saying like it's probably not a physiological issue, because no one needs an hour to warm up physiologically. Let me see. Give me a second. Oh, 1 second, chat. Same problem here. I feel like my aim completely resets after a good day and I can't get to the peak point of aim as the day before. Mental issues? Okay, so that's a loaded question. So it could be mental, right? You're not like focused, right? That could be an issue. It could also be unfair comparisons. Maybe you're comparing your average aim to your good day aim, because everyone has different levels of skill. Everyone has their A game, their B game, their C game. Some days you're on point, some days you're playing average, and some days you're playing bad. Everyone has those, literally everyone. So maybe you're having a B game day, and then you could just compare it to your A game day, where you're like, wow, my aim was really good that day, and now it's not good. You can't do that. You can't compare your B game day to your A game day. You have to compare A game to A game, B game to B game, C game to C game. So if you finish a day of aiming or playing or whatever, recognize what day it was. Be like, man, my aim kind of felt average. So, okay, it was a B game day of aiming. Then be like, was it better the last time my aim felt average? Yes. Okay, so you're improving, right? Compare your bad days to your bad days, average days to your average days, and your good days to your good days. If you have another great day of aiming, you're like, man, my aim felt on point today. This was an A day game, right? I was on my A game. Was it better than my last time I was on my A game? Yes. That means you're improving. Especially most people won't say they're warm until they hit a couple nice shots in a row. Yeah, that's probably another thing too. Cause I know I used to get like that too, where I'm like, oh, I gotta hit like 3 in a row or whatever, or else I'm not feeling it. Like that could also be that too. And yeah, some days, like I said, you're just on your C game, and that's fine. And that's when it gets into like mental work and, you know, working on yourself outside the game. And that's what makes you have more A game days than C game days, right? Like working on the game itself is what improves your inchworm of A game, B game, C game to the more, because you have more skill. But working on yourself outside the game, so you're like in a consistent good level of head, you know, physically, you're consistent physically, you're getting enough sleep, you're working out, eating healthy, then you're gonna not have bad days. That makes sense. Playing the game is gonna improve your skill. Working on yourself is gonna make you more consistent, where you're not playing bad because you're not gonna feel sleepy, whatever it is. Kind of play as you go, depending on your A, B, C game. I feel it's important to get better. Yeah, I believe that's people talk about that. And I think the author of Mental Game of Poker talks about something along those lines, like recognizing what day you're on, of like A game, B game, C game, and then playing accordingly. Because if you're on your C game day, you can't really play like if you're on an A game. Which makes sense. I had an A game today and C game day. Yes, yeah, exactly. And so what people might end up doing is like they have a C game day the day before, they have an A game today, and they're like, wow, I'm crazy now. I just improved so well. But that's not a fair comparison because now you're comparing it to a bad day. Compare it to the last time you had a good day. How often when do you look at radar in game? I have trouble balancing my focus. I can't even tell you. I just be looking at it, man. Like I can't tell you how much I look at it really often though. I look at it. It gets me killed quite a bit, but yeah, I look at it quite often. But that's because I'm an IGL, right? If you're not an IGL, you don't need to be looking at radar as often as the IGL. Because when I'm looking at radar, I'm looking at it across the map. I'm looking at what my teammates do. I'm looking at where they're positioned, right? How they're playing with each other, shit like that. All right, let me see what I got written down. All right, I'm gonna teeter away from the notebook. I'm gonna talk about some recent things actually. Okay. Let me see. Let me go through my notes here. Damn, bro, I don't. Fuck, dude, I don't know where to start. Let me see. Hold on one second. How do you get out of slump? I've been playing off of the past week. So that's like another loaded. It's like, I mean, it's not, it can be loaded, like the answers, right? What's the word? Nuance? Is that the answer to that? Nuance? That means like there's more than one answer. You have to have an honest self-reflection. Like honest self-reflection. Because if you're playing awful, right? One, is it variance? Are you just tilted, right? Is it just like you're running bad? Unfortunate, you just lost games. Two, are you getting bad sleep? Are you not working out? Are you not in the mental, like a right mental space? Are you not eating enough? Are you not drinking enough? Like you have to have like an honest self-reflection. And until you get consistent variables in your life, you can't figure out what is making you inconsistent. If your whole life is inconsistent, right? You don't eat the same every day. You don't work out. You don't sleep the same every day. And then all of a sudden you're playing bad. You can't pinpoint what's making you play bad. If you have a consistent life, you know, you good sleep, eat right, drink enough, work out, get your food in, mentally healthy, I don't know, meditate, all that stuff. You miss one of those things, end up playing bad that day, you're like, oh, it's because I didn't get my sleep. You can actually pinpoint like what's fucking you up. It's the worst possible name for a restaurant. We sell cockroach or fuck. I don't know, some shit with cockroaches, man. Just what can you do late at night when you're tired but can't sleep? Jerk off. No, I'm just joking. I don't know if you're asking that as a serious question because you always fuck around. I mean, what I do? I don't even have a solution. I just lay there until I fall asleep, man. I'm not gonna lie. I've actually had trouble with that. Oh no, actually, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Bro, Andrew Huberman. All right, here we go. He's on fucking Ask Reddit, copy and pasting questions, man. Oh my god. I was gonna say though about the sleep thing because I've been having like shit sleep. What's good, Wraith? What's going on? I was gonna say I've been having shit sleep. Bro, Andrew Huberman talks about sunlight in the morning. He said that getting sunlight like first thing in the morning for like 10 to 30 minutes, like that is what's responsible for you not feeling sleepy in the morning when you wake up, and also for feeling sleepy at night for the past 3 to 4 days. So if you didn't get sunlight in the past 3 to 4 days, then jerk off. If you didn't get sunlight the past 3 to 4 days, it's probably gonna fuck up your sleep, like your circadian rhythm. Which, bro, I have not been able to sleep like properly for the past week. And I'm like, man, maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm not meditating enough. Whatever, yada yada. Maybe I'm not working out enough. Whatever it is, you know. But like I realized, like, bro, I haven't seen the fucking sun in a minute because Chicago, it just turns gray in the winter. It just turns literally gray. The ground is covered in salt. The salt gets all smushed up and pushed in the concrete. That turns gray. There's fucking dirty ass snow all over the grass. That's gray. There's no sun. There's no blue clouds. It's just gray clouds. It's just everything's gray. All the buildings are gray. Everything's just fucking gray, dude. I haven't seen the sun in the past week. I live in a gray world, man. Do you know? Wait, let's see. Do you know deep one-way smoke on apps throwing from? No, I don't know that. Are you talking about the one that like lands right here? Wraith probably knows that shit. I specifically tape my window with the space wing so the sun doesn't wake me. Bro, I did the same shit in my basement. I like covered all the windows with books, and then I got a sunlight alarm where it's like it mimics sunlight. It just turns on like it slowly gets bright. Bro, that's a hack, bro. That you'll never wake up tired again. But you still need to see sunlight in the morning. So that's something I plan on doing like within this week. Damn, shut the fuck up. That's what I plan on doing this week is just waking up and going outside for like 10 to 30 minutes. Just like playing with my dogs or something. Just to get outside and get some sunlight. Because it's seasonal depression light. Maybe, dude. I take vitamin D, you know. Are you 30 minutes from Chicago? Oh shit. Yeah, I'm in Chicago. I'm on the south side. I take vitamin D, but that's still, it doesn't, it's all about the photons hitting your sun, like your eyeballs, because that's what triggers like your circadian rhythm. Is your eyes actually receiving photons from the sun? So, I swear, man, just yeah, exactly. You know, going outside, smoke a doob first thing. Man, yeah, you're getting the sunlight, Paula. Like curtains plus sunlight alarms. Dude, I swear, because bro, I'm not gonna, I wake up at like 11, 11:30, sometimes 12. And I mean, that's good. Like, it's low-key good to block out the sun because you don't want to disturb your sleep either. You only want to get the sunlight after you wake up because you want to get like deep REM sleep, but you still need to get the sunlight afterwards. So that's a problem I've been struggling with is just for my sleep. 21. Dude, that's nothing. It's literally about to be like -30 with wind chill. This tomorrow, I think, because there's like a blizzard. I think it's like -2. And then there's gonna be like crazy ass wind. It's gonna be like -30 wind chill. Fucking Georgian, man. Bro, for real, CSGO flashes are too bright. Yeah, I swear, dude. God. I think I have no flash on. Oh, thank God. Yeah, that should be blinding me, man. And the sound too. I should have the sound canceling. Damn, it's not working. Hold on, maybe if I turn off no flash. It's supposed to cancel the sound. Yeah, see, I got the canceller. Info turned me onto that shit. Gets rid of the sound. -40. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else too, man. Bro, I swear to God, this past month, dude, aim, mental stuff, like tilt. I've figured out so many things, man. The thing I've been doing the past 2 to 3 days, my notebook, right? I made videos about this before, but like it's all about retention versus like learning new things over and over because if you can't retain information, you're not gonna be able to produce it in game. If you constantly just learning instead of like actually getting like deep memory of certain subjects. But I've started treating my notes. I've started treating my notes in my notebooks like it's fucking homework, dude. I write quizzes for myself now. I'm nerding the fuck out, dude. Look, you see this shit? Nuke quiz. I'm going full nerd mode on this shit, dude. I've been quizzing myself, and this shit does not escape my brain now. Because before I would just like when I'd study my notes, because I'd always study them, but I just like read through it, whatever, read through. Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, whatever. I'd read through it. I was like, man, like I don't, you know, people learn from making mistakes, right? Me reading through this, there's no way I can make a mistake. I'm just reading. So I was like, I got to write out questions for myself, and then the answers, and then I quiz myself. Because if I fuck up the answer on the quiz, that causes your brain to actually learn that information because you just made a mistake about it. There's an emotional attachment to it. So it's like, that's how people learn, you know, it's through mistakes. Same with aim training, right? My aim has been popping the fuck off because I've been making mistakes with my aim. I've been pushing myself so it's not just so easy. But I sort of like, dude, my aim is popping. Oh my God, dude. It's actually nuts now. I hit like so many like really high like percentile scores on Kovacs, like close to leaderboard type shit, dudes. On like popular scenarios. What is one of the questions? All right, so the new quiz, I took this 2 days ago. Option for a lobby default. The answer was like fake inner go ramp, right? Um, let's see. What to do if Slash smokes in your garage? Start leaning towards yard because your ramp rotate dropped. Your heaven player went to pick up ramp. Enters weak. Rotate so you become the heaven player. Yada yada. And yeah, so share the Quizlet, bro. Talking about Quizlet, bro. But that's the thing though, is that a lot of these quizzes they only help out me because this is like my playstyle. People are gonna have their own playstyle and their own answers, so it's up to people to figure that out themselves. I think helps retention is creation. Like I remember nades and defaults when I make them. That's true too. Yeah, if you make something yourself, it's like it's really hard to forget it because you you use the brain power to craft it versus just seeing it and taking it in. Like you produced it through your brain. So that makes a lot of sense because some strats we've made I just don't forget. Let me see. Let me see. I had a list of things I wanted to talk about actually this stream. Okay, so yeah, one of the things I want to talk about was tilt too. Tilt, because I think a lot of people get this problem. Someone asked it in the Discord. Let me see if I can find the message. Someone asked this in the Discord. I gave him a brief explanation from what I understand about tilt from the mental game of poker. Let me see. Right here, let me see. How do you deal with losing streaks? No matter how much I try my best. Let me see. Make this full screen. Where did this guy go? Right here. How do you deal with losing streaks? No matter how much I try my best to mentally reset and focus on my own game, it feels like an endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates in my ranked games at Sam R. Right? Yo, join the Discord, bro. It should be in the Twitch description. It should be right here. Should be for that LinkedIn fuck up and expire, whatever. And so I told him this is a brief explanation. It's called running bad, right? I'll get into this more in detail because if I just read this and then go into more, it's not gonna work. Okay, let me just go into straight detail. Okay, so losing streak sounds like this dude is losing a lot of games, right? Loss. This is what's known as running bad, right? In the mental game of poker, within poker, there's like some words that people have for like certain things that happen in the game. So one of the things is called variance. This is just like sometimes shit happens. You can have the better hand. You could have dual aces and someone wins by having like 3 2s or something, right? You can still have the better hand and still lose. This is known as variance. Running bad is when variance happens over and over and over and over again. You just keep on having bad games. You're running bad. It's not your fault. You keep on losing. It's running bad. And so he said this, man. NA in a nutshell right there, man. So what I found out in that book is that, you know, when you end up tilting because you're running bad, right? You keep on losing, whatever it is. You keep on dying. You're running bad. Variance happens individually, happens overall in a game, happens in a team environment. There's a lot of variance within this game. And running bad is when the variance happens accumulatively. When you're running bad, that actually does not tilt you. Losing over and over does not tilt you. Running bad actually just brings to surface what actually has been tilting you. It just makes it highlighted even more. So you're actually tilting because of another reason. You're not tilting because you're losing. And if you look at this message, right? You look at this message. Let's see. Because he says it. He says why. How do you deal with losing streaks? Mentally reset and focus on my game. It feels like an endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates in my ranked games. Right? He's not complaining about or he is complaining about the losses, but this is the reasoning. It feels like an endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates in my ranked games. So you gotta dive into that, right? This could be a case of entitlement tilt. I've had entitlement tilt before where I felt like I was entitled to win a game because, you know, actually this is definitely not entitlement. Like if you read this, it's probably not entitlement tilt. I'm trying to think, what are the types of tilt that they talk about in the book? There's entitlement tilt, there's revenge tilt. This has to do with other people. There is variance tilt, right? Where you're just losing because of variance. Fuck, I can't think of all the 5. Let's look it up. Let me look it up. Oh, I have it right here. Let's see. 7 types of tilt. Here we go. Let's see which tilt he has. Entitlement tilt, mistake tilt. How could I do such a stupid mistake? Hate losing tilt. Oh my god, I can't win. Running bad tilt, right? Because you're just running bad. Injustice tilt. I think there's also revenge tilt. I think this might be a little bit different. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is only 5 out of 7. Oh, right here. This is the actual 7. What the fuck? Age not found. You're fucking kidding me. Running bad. Okay. So yeah, you have a case of running bad tilt, but running bad is like there's a element of some other type of tilt within it. So endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates. This sounds like there's like an element of like luck, like you said, underwhelming teammates. Like I lucked out. I didn't get good teammates this game. So that could be like some sort of variance tilt where like, man, this is unlucky. Like I didn't get teammates. So like there's different ways to address each type of tilt, right? This is like, it seems like variance tilt. Endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates. He's complaining about the RNG of the people he's playing against and the people he's playing with, right? You can't control that. So when it comes to variance tilt, you have to recognize that variance is a part of the game and you can only control your own actions, right? You can't control variance. Like you have to just learn to accept variance. You gotta learn to accept that you can even be in the best position and still lose. Simple could have an op in a 5v1 and still get one tapped by a deagle. It happens, right? It just shit happens. So like what you want to do, if you look right here, let me see. Mental game of poker. There's a worksheet you can fill out. I've actually been filling out these worksheets here. There's an anger management one, right? Fuck out of here. Anger profile. Fucking email it. Should be in my email already. Let me go to my email. Actually, I'll just show mine. You guys can see. I'm not afraid to show like why I get angry about shit. Because I already talked about this anyways. This is the anger profile. Right? First signs are becoming angry. Corrective actions. Injecting logic. What you want to... What you want to do. Anger level. You want to like fill this thing out. And you can figure out like why you're getting angry, right? So a part of correcting your anger, let me close all this. A part of correcting it is to actually sit with the anger first, right? Address the emotion of being angry. Like you're actually pissed, go let that out because you're not going to be able to change the logic that's running in your mind that's causing the anger if you're still angry, right? You lose cognitive functioning at high levels of emotion. So address the anger, right? Get the anger out. Next thing you want to do is figure out why you're getting angry. So this guy, it sounds like variance. He's like, man, I keep getting bad teammates and good enemies. It happens. Shit happens. You can't control that. And you have to like, that's a saying you can use to inject logic into why you're getting angry. Just be like, yeah, shit happens. You can say this why you're getting angry to kind of like curb the emotion. It doesn't entirely get rid of it. You actually do have to do some like emotional work of actually sitting with the anger and stuff like that. But injecting logic is like a good step towards that. Of just like a simple saying to tell yourself to like not get angry. So just like shit happens. That's a good saying to say to combat variance tilt or even simple loses games. That's another good saying you could have for combating variance tilt. Simple loses games still. It probably has like a 50-something% win rate. Like even the best player in the world doesn't have a 100% win rate. So you have to figure out like what exactly it is about the variance that gets you angry, dissect that, see what type of logic is running wrong in your brain, and then correct it. But you have to address the emotion first, then dive into the mental aspect of it because you're not going to be able to fix it if you're still too high emotion. And I'll give you an example, right? So this guy's talking about variance, running bad, right? Losing streak. I was getting really bad tilt, and I was getting bad entitlement tilt. I had a similar thing where I just kept on losing, right? I was on a running bad streak, losing, and I was getting really tilted because I'm like, I don't deserve to be losing. I practice more than these people. I don't deserve to fucking lose. And that's a sense of entitlement tilt. I felt entitled to a win. But the thing is, I had to recognize that I'm not entitled to a win. I'm not entitled to winning. One thing I had to learn, I got this from Healthy Gamer. He talks about how to like accept losses, is that you have to realize that you're not entitled to the fruits of your actions. You're only entitled to your actions, right? I'm not entitled to getting a win. I'm only entitled to playing, and I'm only entitled to practicing. Whatever happens after that has nothing to do with me. It's out of my control. So if I just keep my focus on what I can control, then I don't get angry. So like, that's what helped fix it for me, for my entitlement tilt. But you have a tilt with variance, and other people have different types of tilt. It could be revenge tilt, whatever it is. No, I mean, it literally is good dating advice. It's good relationship advice in general. This is just emotional intelligence right here. Another example of this tilt too was revenge tilt. I had really bad revenge tilt where I get pissed if someone starts talking shit, bro. It really like rile me up. And I had to, I had to do some like deep thinking of why I'm getting tilted with this. And it's because I think there were several things to it. One of the things was I associated shit talking and people talking shit to you with confrontation and like physical violence. I think that comes because my brother would always kick my ass when I was younger. So I think that's why I got that association. So I'd always get like really riled up. Like I noticed every time someone would talk shit in game, I'd be like, they wouldn't say that shit in person, bro. Like they would not say that shit in person. And it's like, why am I even saying that? It's like I'm saying that because I'm assuming these guys want to fight me. Like that's literally what would come on the first thing come in my head is like these guys would not say that in person. So I assume they want to fight me. So that was one reason why I get tilted when other people talk to me. And another thing too, I get tilted and I felt like I had to like prove something is I was scared that if I lost after someone talked shit, that meant that they were right. That was another thing that would really get me tilted. So it's like, now that they said something, now I have to prove them wrong. And it's like, I don't have to prove them wrong. And even if I lose after someone talks shit, that doesn't mean whatever they said was right. Those are like the two big things that like really got in my head when it came to revenge tilt and people talking shit. So it's like, you got to figure out, like you can literally analyze your own tilt, bro. When you get tilted, that's fine. Everyone does get tilted, but you should analyze it after the game and really dive into like why am I getting tilted? Sit with it. Sit with the anger, process it, get it all out, and then actually sit with the tilt. Journal, write it all out. And if you write it all out, you can read back to what you said and you can start pinpointing things like, dang, I said this. This probably means because of this. Like I swear to God, bro. And I've been doing this for the past like 2 months since I started reading this book. I've really been taking my time with this book. I want to get all the information down. And I don't tilt near as much. My mental longevity is so good in game now. Like I don't tilt near as much. And I don't tilt near as hard. And I don't tilt near as long after the game. I recover from tilt really quickly now. So it's like, you can really analyze these things. And I'm glad this guy said this because I was going to say something about this actually today. CS doesn't work out for you. You'd make a great psychologist. Oh, thanks, man. That's why I want to do. Like my goal is like, I want to go pro. I want to ride that out for as long as possible in like my 30s because I'm gonna be the next Kerrigan, dude. I'm gonna be the next Kerrigan. And then after that, I want to be like a sports psychologist. I want to work with esports teams and be like a really good coach. That's my thing. How do I stay focused in the game and not look at anything else besides the game match? All right, I can get into that in a second. Let me read the rest of these chats. To be honest though, nothing is satisfying as shit talking rich. No, yeah, it is satisfying. No, that definitely is satisfying. But like, it's like low key a gamble because if you talk shit back and then you lose, like you kind of just eat your words. So it's usually just best to like just ignore what they're saying. Like that's what I just figure. I'm like, I don't have to respond to them. Oh, that's the other thing. That's the other thing I realized too about my revenge tilt when people talk shit. I felt like I had to prove them wrong or I had to say something back or else I was a bitch. Like that was like a big like thing that was running through my mind. Whenever someone talks shit, I felt like I had to do something or else I would be a bitch if I didn't do it. So that's why I just realized I'm like, I don't have to say anything back to them because I'm not a bitch to begin with. Like, not a bitch. Them talking shit does not equal confrontation or a fight. And if it did, I definitely could easily settle that, right? No issues. A lot of these people playing CS, fucking nerds, bro. And then the third thing is, yeah, if they talk shit and I still lose, that doesn't mean what they said was right. So those are like the big three things when it came for me and revenge tilt. And then also, I discussed the entitlement tilt. Facing shit talkers makes you play better. That might be because it gets you emotional, and you need a bit of emotion to focus. You can't be too emotionless. That's my theory on why people think people play better when they talk shit. I appreciate that, Stefan. Thank you. It's a good setup for Aeon and Vertigo. Shit, all these questions, man. You guys gonna pick up Anubis? Yeah, we are actually gonna play Anubis. We haven't started it yet. We still have to get through Vert first, and then we'll start Anubis. I have no idea what to do with that map. Jungle's being too stiff. We get really rigid, focus on how to do the default strat, and then it's just like we forget how to just play the game. Come up with goals, structure for the strat, so you can have it down to an unconscious level, so you don't actually need to think about sticking to the default, and then learn to break away from it and find exceptions for the rules. Like you need to have a foundation of strategy, and then mid-round off of it. Like it should be a passive thing. Your structure and your default and your protocols should honestly be a passive thing that you revert to if nothing else happens, right? Like if you are taking brackets and nothing happens, okay, now we know the next step is to take arch control. But if you take brackets, you get a pick, you should just know, okay, we get a pick, we should just explode. Like something along those lines. Like you should not be afraid to shy away from structure. Let that be a passive thing and nothing else pops up. Find out how to take advantage of other situations instead of relying on your structure. So you have a reverse problem of what I had. I had a problem of being too impulsive and like relying too much on calling on the fly. I became really good at it, where I didn't know what to do if everything went right and we had, our structure was going good. So I had to go back and reverse engineer our structure side of our strategies. But you have the reverse problem where your structure is really good, but you need to learn how to call on the fly. So it's just gonna take some practice. Send your Insta. Oh, me? You know what I look like. How do I focus on the game? Okay, that was the question earlier. How do I stay focused in the game? Not look at anything else besides the game and match. So again, this also can be a loaded question. What I found best, I've been doing this really recently, is dopamine. It's all about dopamine, man. Dopamine really helps with focus and motivation. Andrew Huberman, really good podcaster, neuroscientist, I believe. He's got a lot of videos about motivation, dopamine, focus. One of the best things I've been doing recently, because I've been on NoFap for like fucking forever, dude. Like I've been doing that shit forever. But I would still stimulate dopamine like crazy with like YouTube shorts, scrolling on YouTube, whatever it is, texting people, yada yada, scrolling on YouTube, whatever it is, right? I'd really stimulate my dopamine like crazy. And I would, my dopamine would drop because I'm not fucking beat my meat no more or watching porn, but I'm still stimulating other ways. And so what he talks about is how to make your work, like you have to realize that the work itself and playing the game itself is the reward. There is no reward after it. And so when you're able to play the game and actually enjoy the game and like feel fulfilled while playing it and not worry about the win or loss, you're able to focus way better. Basically. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, that was part of it. Some of the, I be just going to the shorts and some of those YouTube thoughts be showing up. I was like, oh, no, but if you appreciate the follow. If you learn to make the game itself and playing itself the reward, then it's super easy to focus because you're into the game. You're playing. It's fun to you. And the way to do that, he says simply, is to not spike your dopamine before playing and not spike your dopamine after playing. And obviously he doesn't say playing because he's talking about work, but we're applying this to Counter-Strike here. Don't spike your dopamine before you play. Don't watch YouTube. Don't watch TikTok. Don't be fucking sexting people, watching porn, beating your meat. Grow up, man. Don't be doing that shit, all right? It's making you not hit face at level 10 because you keep on beating your meat, okay? Don't be doing that. And then don't do that after, because if you do it before, now you already spiked your dopamine. Your dopamine is like a searching chemical. Like it's a process chemical. It's like you wanting to complete something. It's not the actual feel-good chemical itself. It's you in the process of completing something. So if you don't spike your dopamine, now you actually get a raise in dopamine by playing itself. And so playing becomes enjoyable. If it's enjoyable, you have a sense of play within it, you're able to focus way better. You can do this with aim training. You can do this with playing itself, demo watching, whatever it is. Try not to peak your dopamine. Like what he says is like to be really cautious of your dopamine peaks and guard them. Guard your dopamine peaks because they control your motivation and how focused you can get. And then don't do it after, because if you constantly spike your dopamine after you're done playing, while you're playing, your dopamine levels are below baseline because you're so used to spiking them at the end that you're just waiting for this game to be over so you can go do whatever it is, beat your meat, whatever it is, right? So if you don't spike your dopamine after or before, you get your dopamine spike by playing. So when you're playing, you're in the zone, you're loving it, and there's no way not to focus. So like, good way to do this is just to avoid things that are dopaminergic. YouTube shorts, TikTok, porn, beating your meat, edging, eating food, nicotine, basically anything that's an addiction or like coping mechanisms, right? Watching TV shows, very dopaminergic. Just avoid things that are along those lines of that, like they're usually like never ending, right? Bag of chips, never ending. TikTok, never ending, constantly scrolling. TV shows, never ending. Things that aren't dopaminergic is like YouTube, or not YouTube. I mean, longer form YouTube videos, podcasts, right? They're longer, but it's not like you're waiting for like a finish. Like there is always a conclusion to those. Movies too, those aren't dopaminergic because there's a finish. But if you watch a TV show, once the show's over, you want to watch the next episode. So you're constantly searching. When you finish a TikTok, you want to scroll to the next one, So really guard your peaks in dopamine, and you'll find it way easier to focus if this becomes your sense of enjoyment. And that's why, I've talked about this before, was like the time in silence of just sitting by yourself. Just do that, man. Like Seriously, just fucking sit in silence. It's so refreshing, honestly. Like you reset your dopamine levels. It makes you want to grind the game more, and then you get to address a lot of emotional needs that were unaddressed, or you get to relax if that's what you actually need. You actually need rest because people still need a rest. You need a rest like every 30 to 90 minutes to just let your brain fucking zone out. Just let it zone out. 6:41 a.m. and I haven't slept. Rest in peace, man. Get some sunlight in your eyes in the morning. But yeah, it's a big thing about focus. I actually had that written down. I wanted to talk about focus. Um, but yeah, another thing too with focusing is your focus is relative. So it's kind of about like alertness levels. That's what I found out too. I think Wes Proder talks about this. Andrew Huberman. That's where I mainly got it from. I think Wes Proder also watches Andrew Huberman a lot. But it's relative, right? So if you're too stimulated, right? You're too stimulated to focus on the game. Let's say your mind's running wild, right? You keep on overthinking. Let's say you're trying to aim train, you're overthinking. Listening to music would actually probably help you aim train because it's taking your focus away from whatever you're over focusing on, and now you're focusing on the music, and now you're not over analyzing your game, and you're actually able to play better. Like sometimes I'll notice that me actually talking to someone makes me aim train better because I was already overthinking my movements in the aim. If you are, you know, I don't know, understimulated or something like, or I think I had it backwards. If you're like overstimulated, maybe music isn't gonna help you because it's gonna add to the overstimulation. Like, you're gonna be focused on too many things to focus on the aim. So if you got to get rid of distractions and then focus on the game, it's all relative and it changes on a day-to-day basis. So if you find that some days you'll find you play better or you aim practice better while listening to music, and some days you don't. And you just got to figure out what day you're on. It's all about your alertness levels. If you're too tired, not listening to music while playing or while aim training is going to make you play worse because now you're trying to stay awake and like you're almost falling asleep. So that listening to music is going to keep you awake. It's going to stimulate you. If you're too awake, listening to music is just going to feed into that. You kind of want to just like let it be quiet so you can focus on just the game. If that makes sense. It's relative in that aspect of it's all about alertness levels and how alert you are. If you're under alert, you want to do things that make you more alert. And if you're over alert, you want to do things that balance you out to like a nice middle ground of alertness. Does that make sense? Let me see what else I have. Oh yeah, another thing too, talking about focus, what Andrew Huberman also talks about too, because I think I've talked about this before about flow state. He also says like when you're anytime doing like motor skills or any type of work, you don't actually want to chase the flow state. You want to chase like optimal thing for learning is intense focus, which doesn't include flow state. Flow state is kind of something that just happens like if everything goes well. Like say you're aim training, you start hitting all the fucking dots, you just start hitting everything. People are like, oh my god, I'm in flow state. You can't expect to hit flow state all the time. There's an element of variance to flow state. What you want to chase is like intense focus and intense work, right? When you're grinding, like you want to put all your focus into whatever you're working on. If you're studying a demo, if you're playing a team practice, if you're doing your aim training, you want to put all your focus into that. And the other thing you want to chase is intense rest afterwards, because that's when the neuroplasticity happens. That's when your brain makes changes. So after team practice, you had your intense focus, and then afterwards, just go lay down and just zone out. Let all that information just seep in. Don't overstimulate yourself afterwards. Let your dopamine levels reset to baseline and just fucking zone out. And your brain will apply everything you just fucking learned, and you won't forget it. So that's another thing that kind of helps with focusing too, is just chasing intense focus and chasing intense rest. If you're constantly stimulated, you never get that intense rest, and you can never get that deep focus. You need to have like a nice, balance of that shit. If that makes sense. I don't know if you guys have any other questions. I want to see if there's anything else I want to talk about. There's a lot of things I wanted to address. Let me see. I'm looking for other things to talk about. If you guys have anything else you want me to answer, let me know. It could be about anything, IGL stuff, whatever it is. Let me see. Watching Anubis, Matt? No. I haven't done anything about Anubis yet. Let me see. I think that's actually everything. It's all the mental stuff I worked on the past, like, since last stream. That's really helped a lot of the tilt stuff. Yeah, actually, there's definitely been a lot of improvements overall as like a player though, or aiming in general. I could speak on some of that things. I can just keep going through the notebook actually. Um. Oh. Let me talk about this. Oh. Motion is lotion, yo. If you got back pain, just fucking move around. Motion is lotion. All right. Good thing Andrew's in here, because I was actually going to bring this to the team when we started Nuke back up. All right, so I figured out, we had this happen before in one of our games, where we had a teammate get down lower quietly through vents. Let's say he did his rat dive util, right? I think it was, Nigo came here, he threw his rat dive util, came here, fucking got down vents quietly. The CTs did not know he got down vents. What do you do in this situation, right? What we ended up doing was like completely wrong. I think he just like came up and then tried to reverse clear secret. No one was here, and then we took a fight on mini. It was just kind of, you know, it's like it could have been better. You know, it could have been better. So I really sat and thought about this. Like, what do you do? What's the protocol if you get someone down secret or you get someone down vent? And came up with two options. One's very in depth and one's gimmicky as fuck. Okay, and this can work if you get someone down vent, and also if you get someone down secret from a lurk, right? Let's say you throw ramp util and the lurk outside just finds a timing to get down secret. Like, what do you do when you get someone lower and the CTs don't know about it? So I actually saw, I believe G2 did this, or was it FaZe? I think Rops, he got down vent quietly, and the CTs didn't know he got down vent. So he actually just stayed here. He stayed vent, and he just watched for any rotates. And what FaZe ended up doing was, after he got down vent, they all came outside and they late through the secret smokes right here. I think this is the lineups like this. That's okay, that's fine. Whatever. They late through their secret smokes, right? They late through secret smokes, and basically what this ends up doing is they late through the secret smokes. If anyone's outside, right, they can't rotate through secret. So their options for rotates to, you know, they have to respect these smokes, is to get someone lower. So Props is sitting here vent. CT goes to drop lower. Boom, that's a free kill. That's why I call this play Sarlacc. I call it Sarlacc Pit, because it's like, you know, the thing that killed Boba Fett. So if you get someone down vents quietly, the CTs don't know about it. Go late throw outside smokes, and try and get a CT to drop vents. Right? He's gonna drop. Boom, that's a free kill. You basically just won the round. You have the map control, and you have the numbers advantage. If the CT does not rotate down vents, two options. That means two things have possibly happened. One, a CT is probably already playing secret. Right? He's already in secret, so they don't need to rotate. Or two, a CT rotated through ramp. And there's still things you can do about this. So if you throw those outside smokes and no one comes down secret, this guy, vents, can go and reverse clear secret. He just comes out here and he reverse clears secret, clear out anyone who's already lower, right? And if no one's here, then that means that the ramp player is the one that rotated. So, you know, process of elimination, if you didn't kill anyone vent and there's no one secret, ramp player is the one that rotated. If the ramp player is the one that rotated, that means the heaven player had to rotate to take up ramp control. So if the heaven player rotated to take up ramp, that means there's two A site with no rotate, possibly one outside who's probably leaning yard, right? So the weak point now becomes yard control because there's no one like mini. It's probably like 2 people sight. You know, take yard. This guy maybe back garage something. It's probably only be like 1 guy you run into here. Take yard control or just hit A because there's only 2 people on site. There's a guy lower already, and there's a guy who rotated to pick up ramp. So process of elimination. That's like those are the protocols you should run through. Right, you get someone down vent quietly. Lay through outside smokes. Try and get someone to drop on a vent. No one drops vent. Go reverse clear secret. If no one's secret, then you know the ramp player rotated. So the ramp player rotated. You can either take yard because the heaven player rotated, take up ramp, and now yard's the weak point. Or if you guys are still lobby, you can just take ramp because the ramp player is already lower. There's only 1 guy ramp. Kill the ramp guy. Now you can just go take J Hall and push heaven through here because there's no one yard to end up holding the flank through heaven because you just kill the heaven rotate. Maybe there's a guy outside, but he's not gonna be able to watch the ladder. So J Hall and yard become the weak points if the ramp player is the one that rotated, or straight up sight if this guy is outside for whatever reason. So the other thing, right? That's like the one in-depth play you can do if you get someone down lower. The other thing you could do too, we call this on our team skylight. It's like a gimmicky ass play, right? So if you get someone down lower, all this guy is able to clear as a T is secret, respectively. He can only clear secret because if he tries to go over here, he'd have to open up this door to go to ramp. If he tries to go through single, you have to open up a door. That's a sound cue. If you try and go through the control, you also have to break glass. That's a sound cue. So if you ever get someone down secret lurking or down the vents, he can walk all the way to control. Say he reverse cleared secret. He walks to control, and then he calls for this play, skylight. And you basically just count down from 3, and this guy shoots the glass, and you have some guy on the roof come here on Marsh, and then he, or right here, and then he shoots the glass right here at the same time that that guy breaks the glass down low. So anyone on an A site is going to hear the glass break above them. They're also going to hear it break below them, but they're not going to realize it was below them. And it's a nice little sound bait. You can mask the sound of them breaking the glass, and now this guy can push through control and go and flank ramp. And now the guy ramp is not going to expect it at all because you just covered the sound of the glass breaking. So those are like 2 options you have if you get someone down lower quietly. No, I'm probably going to get off after this, Andrew. It's going to do a quick stream. I'm actually probably going to call it here. I'm not going to lie. Me, no daddy, man. I watched the demo today. We aren't even practicing. Oh, actually, I'm gonna finish the notes I had for this demo, actually. So, another thing, too, for outside on Nuke, if you are, like, the credit mini player who's, like, responsible for outside, and the T's start threatening yard control on you, the right way to handle this, which I saw, I believe, FaZe do, is, like, let's say these guys smoke mini, they smoke lockers on you. You know, they want to come out here and challenge yard control. If you're credit, the way you want to set this up is you just come here and you hold the push icebox and credit, like this area, and then your heaven player. It's really important that the heaven player doesn't just come out here and swing because it's way too hard of a fight for him. There can be T's here, 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 here. You can't pre-aim anything, and these guys can all like 5v1 you, right? The heaven player does not want to fight yard, like outside like that. So the heaven player, all he's going to do is watch garage for the credit player who's sitting right there, who's watching yard, or the yard push. So heaven watches garage, yard watches icebox. Off of yard's contacts icebox, the heaven player can then swing, right? Because they just made contact with this guy. It's a little bit more safer to fight then, instead of just taking like the 1v5 without help of credit. And then if they peek him garage, the guy credit right here can turn around and also fight as well. This is how you coordinate defense between heaven and the credit player, right? So if you're playing credit here, see them smoke mini, you know they're probably going for yard control. Just come here, watch your yard push, and then this guy, the heaven player, comes out and watches just garage, and he only swings wide to peek outside off of this guy's contact down there. I don't think I'm special, man. I'm just saying I'm putting the work in, dude. Just putting the work in, man. Okay, that was the last note. Let me mark out. This is the last spot. Take off. All right, y'all. I'm calling it here. I am calling it here. Good stream, y'all. Christmas stream. I am out. Peace out, guys.